Hello guys, Sir Grindalot here. It's Monday, a new week has started, and very soon we're getting a new banner which will replace Yuki's banner. Thank you Windows for the notification, bloody piece of garbage of an OS. So I will take this opportunity to try to do a clear of Laboratory Zero for, our weekly activities. Meanwhile, I will be talking some nonsense about Yuki, the current banner, the incoming banner, and the overall state of the game. Hopefully the volume of the game is fine, not too high, not too low. It's looking okay according to OBS. Hopefully there will not be any peaks while we play. Let's talk a little bit about Yuki, because Yuki has been slightly questionable for me as a limited character, but kinda in line with Haru. What I mean by that is that Haru felt a lot like a tutorial character. So, very good, solid performance by Haru, but one of the most simple limited characters I've ever played in... that was a good switch. In any game I've played, because her kit is literally draw and cross-shot, spam and cross-shot, deal damage. And when you're not using and cross-shot with Haru, you're not doing anything. Very simple, extremely simple gameplay, very straightforward character. So, as the first limited character, that made absolute sense. She didn't feel bad, she didn't feel particularly OP compared to other characters. But at the end of the day, she was fine. And then we got Haru. Then we got Yuki, who... a little bit different, because her performance is... on a very different level compared to Haru, meaning that she's extremely unreliable, because if you cannot draw a good amount of her cards during each turn, you are basically not dealing any damage. And it's not easy to draw all of her cards, especially at the beginning of a run. You need to set up things, it takes a while, and every now and then you just cope with what the game gives you. And even then, even after you set up your Yuki Exodia, there is still a cap to the amount of damage that you can actually deal. Because if you have all your attack cards, like really all of them, that is the amount of damage that you can deal, no more than that. On the other hand, someone like Haru, you can have her deal as much damage as your action points allow her to, also keeping in mind how many times you can pull back and cross-shot. But this means that if you have a very good save with Haru, and she can pull back and cross-shot multiple times during a fight, the limit is the sky, the limit is the amount of action points that you can generate. Yuki, the limit is how many attack cards you have in the deck. You can copy some, and that helps a little bit, but 60, 40, let's get that one. But still, there is a hard cap to it, and it doesn't feel particularly good. This is a card that I really dislike, but let's get at least some action points. Not a huge fan of that card. Though maybe since we are in trauma mode it will not even be complete S, but future Sir Grindalot will be the judge of that, not current Sir Grindalot. And so, if you have an opinion regarding Yuki, you got her, and so, you had the chance to play her for a few weeks, you know how she performs, you had a few teams for her. Let me know in the comments what you think about her. Like, is she complete ass for you, or is she goated and people have been for the most part overreacting? Because unfortunately, the opinion that we get on social media, Reddit, X, whatever, is always hyperbolic. Almost everything on social media feels like rage bait. And either for engagement or for trolling or whatever. And so the opinions that you get about Yuki are, this is trash, fuck this, I want a refund, you know, the kind of stuff. Or other people who clear all the content and then they share a screenshot, say, why are you complaining about Yuki? She has no problem. And then they have Manifestigo 82, and their build is like 80 crit rate, 200 crit damage with fragments that no one else in the world has. And, you know, all the sort of stuff. I've been through that in, especially on Kaistar Royale, where there were some content creators that I will not name. I will not name them. Especially because I do not remember their name. After finding out what was going on, I blocked the channels and I told YouTube, don't recommend me this garbo anymore. And they were doing, let's say, free-to-play showcases with characters that had builds that made absolutely no sense in my head, because I was not free-to-play, and I was doing one energy refresh a turn, and the builds of those characters were, I would say, a good 15% crit rate, 40% crit damage, and more than that, better than my own build. And so I was like, what's going on? How is it possible? And then it turned out that it was not possible. So the showcases that we were doing, claiming, oh yeah, this build, pretty good, it's solid, you should try it, they were unachievable by 99% of the player base that does not do constant refreshes. Fine, let's take a bit of damage here. And a similar thing happened in Chaos Zero Nightmare, in pretty much any game, to be honest. Let's do that, and this, and get rid of this mushroom friend. So my opinion for Yuki is skewed based on my build, the teams that I build for her, and all the sort of stuff, but your mileage may vary. So I'm always curious to see what real people think, so not abstract entities on social media. Iceberg? Let's go. Can we one-shot everything? There's a good chance we can one-shot everything. Let's see. Yeah, that was a one-shot. Nice. She's solid against multiple enemies. Of course, it doesn't happen very often that we have challenging fights against multiple enemies. So, feels a bit bad. I'm happy that the devs stated that there could be some changes coming in the direction of Yuki. I'm really glad, because I really like her gameplay, her animations, and the core idea around her kit, which is that you are rewarded by drawing, essentially, which is cool in a card game. But at the same time, the reward feels a little bit underwhelming. Let's get rid of this card, which I heavily despise. Is there something else I want to remove? Well, I will remove first the card that I despise. We will worry about the rest of the cards later. And I wonder what the changes will be. Because they kinda mentioned that for the most part, those changes will involve things like epiphanies, like the weaker epiphanies, cards that are not used that much, and all the sort of stuff. Which, okay, I can understand that, but I think she needs a bit more than that, to be honest. Hopefully those epiphanies will be very good. I had a few ideas in my head on how I would change a Yuki without doing absolutely insane and disgusting stuff. Oh, I like both of these, but I will go with morale. Because of course you could say, well, obviously every attack of Yuki plus 150% damage multiplier, GG. That's obvious. But I think there are more interesting things that could be done with Yuki's kit to make it better, but not OP. But in addition of being better, make it more fun, enjoyable, and rewarding to play. And I mentioned earlier that there is a cap to the amount of damage that you can do with the Yuki, because outside of copying cards, you are limited to the amount of attack cards you have in your deck. So what if we had an epiphany that creates another attack? or an epiphany that allows you to bring back to your hand a card that has already been played that turn. You know, there's a lot of fun stuff that could be designed for Yuki, making her better to play, not necessarily absolutely OP. Just a bit more... like, it feels bad when your Yuki is built very well, you invested a lot of energy into her fragments, you have some extra copies, because now I have some Manifestigos for her, and you see showcases for like standard banner characters clearing stuff as quickly as you, especially here that everything is weak to chaos. I've seen the final boss being cleared by, I don't know, Renoa, Rin, and many others way quicker than Yuki, and it's fine. I don't want every limited character to completely power creep every standard banner character, but there is always that expectation for new limited character to either slightly outperform previous ones, or at least be an upgrade side grade, meaning that they do something different that under certain situation is better, or there could be some endgame content that heavily shields for them, you know, all this sort of stuff. But Yuki didn't get any of it. We didn't get any content that shields for her at all. Like, all the content that we got is weak. Either to chaos void damage, or passion damage, and the challenging stuff is bosses, and she's good against AoE. So, what a cursed character! Like, I don't know what's going on with her. It's really unexplainable for me. That's why I do believe that... what the hell? That's why I do believe that some changes or some kind are required for our little Yuki to become a more decent performer in the game of Chaos Zero Nightmare, because at the moment she is cope zero performance, and as someone who likes her character and animations and the overall philosophy behind her design, I'm a little bit annoyed by her performance. Okay. Hopefully I will draw into some attacks, because I have absolutely nothing to do. Okay, this is good. That is dead. With that being dead, and we don't need to worry about anything. No! I forgot that bloody card had finale. Took some damage for no reason. Can I heal? Yeah. That's another card that I really dislike, mainly because I forget about the final thing all the time. Sip of tea to cope with the loss of hit points. There are a few cards that have finale that should not have a finale. They feel really bad for that. But it is what it is. Okay, that one does not have a finale. That's pretty good. We're actually exhausted to draw something else that is better. Arguably any other card in the deck, to be quite frankly with you. Here we make that one hit a bit harder because it's our AoE. Let's do this and see what we do in terms of crits. No crits, feels a bit bad, man. Could you Trickery Strike please crit? Yes, okay, so we don't need to worry about incoming damage this turn, which makes it hopefully a little bit better for the following turn. I'm sure everything is dead here, yeah, so we can heal up a tiny bit. Nothing happened. See, against random Garbo, she's pretty good, pretty solid. Then we get to the bosses and you feel bad. And you do feel bad about Yuki. But I want to be positive. I want to believe that it will hashtag change pretty soon. Let's get rid of... I mean, this is not looking like a save file that I will be thinking like, oh my god, hey, pretty busted save file. Let's just get rid of stuff that is just in the way for the run like this, I'm not going to play it ever. But these one, on the other hand, pretty decent. I still have... I'm going to still have enough cash to remove another card later on, so let's give this card to Ray. And let's move on with our life. Stress a little bit high for Ray, but it's not even too bad. Let's see what we have to face after this. Annoying. Annoying to say the least, but there is a chance that I could draw something good, and maybe in something more that is good and not complete S. Come on, show me some crit, please. That was a lot of crit. That was... thank you, thank you. She has just a tiny bit over 50% crit rate. So, oh, yeah, we go that way. So when she does so many crits, it's definitely on the luckier end of the spectrum. It's going to be a very solid amount of turn 1 damage. I am Sir Grindelot and I approve of this message. Peace. It's not dead, but it's going to be a very decent amount of damage. Please crit. Okay, at least half of that hit. Hit a crit, so I don't need to worry about using any of the ego skills. We're taking a bit of damage here, but it is what it is. There is not much we can do about it. That can go, maybe? Oh, that one can go. We just set up things for the next turn, during which we will also have an extraction point. Fine, we can do this. What do we get? Decrease cost by 1 and draw a card with inspiration. Yeah, I prefer that one, specifically now. The reason why I made a guide / overview of Yuki, and I said that this is my favorite overall epiphany for Trickery Strike, and I still stand by that. But in this run specifically, I have a Ray upgrade card that makes cards that cost 1 do more damage, and this one costing 0 does not benefit from that. And now you can using the fragment set that increases the crit damage of cards that cost 1. So again, this one does not benefit from it, so I would rather take that one. That one is wasted, not a big deal. Let's just do that. Recover some stress to a character that doesn't really need it. And now we have 4 action points. And no Yuki's card! Whatever! Okay. Let's draw 1 Yuki's card. Let's go, man! That should be dead, yeah. How about with this one? No, we really need to use the rapid slash. It is what it is. It always is what it is. Let's get that one. I value action points a lot. Especially in runs when none of my supports get the Forbidden Hunger? Forgotten Hunger? Relatively Hungry? I don't remember the name of the Forbidden card that when you draw it you get an action point and you draw a card. I really don't. I will not pretend that I know what I'm talking about. But I know the card very well, it's just that I'm bad with names. This one, let's remove it. Nothing else that I like. And let's go to the first boss. Is it going to be a full clear? I don't know, let's find out. It's not looking too bad right now, didn't get any crazy synergies, crazy epiphanies, but I also didn't get ass blasted too much by the RNG gods, so I cannot complain too much. Here I could be using an extra card by dumping this. I actually don't mind that. I like her ego skill a lot, which is the reason why Ray I believe is the only character right now on which I use Ego Recovery slot 6 fragment slot. Fragment slot? Memory fragment. Because her ego skill giving, well, it deals a bit of damage, but that's irrelevant because her other fragments are hit points. So I will not pretend that she deals a good amount of damage. But the fact that it generates an action point and deals quite a lot of damage here to the break bar of enemies that are weak to void damage can occasionally actually generate 2 action points in a turn, and it's very, very, very valuable. That's why I wanted to have it available as many times as possible during a run, because it can be extremely useful. I only have 1 action point, so we do this, we cope and sieve, because this turn was absolute dog shit, but maybe the next one will be better. Mainly because I doubt it's going to be worse. It's actually worse, but what we can do is discard some Garbo and force a refresh of a deck, which is always something that I highly welcome. Now, ignoring for a minute this slightly cursed run that I'm having, what are my plans for the week? In a couple of days, we're getting a new character, which is something that I'm definitely looking forward to. And we don't know anything about her. We know she's a psionic character, but that doesn't say a lot, because psionic characters, what they do for the most part is that they fiddle around with cards, generating them, exhausting them, and doing all the sort of stuff. But so far the 3 that we had were damage dealers. 2 regular crit damage dealers, and 1 is Tressa, who is a DOT damage dealer. But it doesn't say anywhere that it should be a damage dealer. It could be a debuffer that creates debuffs and does things like that over and over and over during the course of a fight. So I'm really not sure what to think about good old Chizuru for the coming days. Because even us who are in the content creator program don't do anything about it. It's not like, at least us, at least me, and most of us, we do not have privileged access to what is going on, to the new characters that are going to be released. So I have no clue. Absolutely no clue. Just now that I do this, I am reminded of something, which is that early in the morning, during my commute to work, I did 2 chaos runs, and I got the rewards, because we get free rewards every week. And then I went to farm fragment pieces, and I was at the cap, I could not farm anymore, so I went to the storage, I recycled everything that is not locked. I am sure I did not even check the memory fragments that I got during those 2 runs in the morning. I want to believe in the universe where all those pieces were absolutely unusable. They were trash, and we don't talk about them anymore. Let's get the essentially free action point each turn. I do not have a lot of cash. Not having a lot of cash, I'm not particularly inclined about going to either of those 2 shops. Let's just handle some fights, so hopefully Rei can trigger her Gunner mode early. And time this. Okay, good. Very, very, very good. At least we have one thing that hits relatively hard. Okay, it was not bad, I'm quite proud of that turn. There was a little bit of luck involved. I should have used the freezing blade first, but all in all, it was alright. I'm definitely getting something that is playable, which is nice. Because the only 2 cost card that I have is the one that I used on turn 1, so I was definitely going to get something playable. I'm starting to wonder whether I should remove that card, by the way. Rapid Slash, now that I'm mostly focused on cards that cost 1. But, as I was saying earlier, if you remove attack cards from Yuki, there isn't a lot of damage output that she can dish out every turn. I like this one. Then, going to discard, I would say that. Draw 2, see what happens. Probably going to use that one this turn. Oh, actually no, because the fight is over. See, that card is absolute ass. It's garbo. I wish there was a way to queue cards. Having them played at the end of the fight, if they are in the stack. Oh, poor guy. Moon of Destruction. I do not have a lot of equipment. I could also use the reduce stress. You know what? I will go with the equipment. Poor little guy. Okay. No longer suffering. GG, little guy. There are a few events here in the Laboratory Zero that are a bit depresso mode. That one, the guy who is essentially a memory in front of a data center that looks like a guy who lost all his money to crypto scams. There is quite a few that kinda are upsetting. Okay, we cannot use... it's not that we cannot, but we don't want to use cards that are not attacks, at least at the very beginning. Okay, this is actually very, very good. Can dump the whole hand. Probably everything is dead instantly. Insta-gibbed! Take that, you hovering dick. It doesn't hover and doesn't really look like a dick. I'm sorry, disgusting alien-looking thing. You don't look like a cock. You don't. I apologize for my rude comment of earlier. Okay, the server room. We go with this one. I should have a few rerolls. Okay, no need for rerolls. Another something gig. Okay, good. I can take another one of these. I will definitely appreciate that. And I think we're done. Whatever. The red card is very good. Basically the only thing that works for Yuki on her release period. Am I going to get scammed here? I have a feeling I'm going to get scammed. What I mean by scam is... oh, there is a shop. I have a bit of money. Let's go this way. This, you know, question mark, whatever. And then this is the vagina-looking boss with the announcement. And my run ends there with Ray going in Gunner mode instantly and never activating it. And I'm just dead. I think it's going to happen. So let's... oh, a random tunnel. Okay. I will take the tunnel in this specific case, just to avoid the vagina-looking enemy. Let's fight some regular monsters, shall we? Okay, Giga Frog. Frog is kind of a friend. I don't mind it too much, to be honest. Is the frog actually dead? The frog is actually dead. Okay. If you heard something weird in the background, it's the washing machine. I wash the clothes. Discard 1, draw 2 of the same combatant, or draw 2. Discard 2. Considering that I do not have the forbidden card, I will go with this. At least it's not a card loss. Because draw 2, discard 2, you're using Adagio, so you end up with one fewer card in hand than what you started with. But if you use Adagio, you discard 1 and then you draw 2, you're even in terms of cards, and it's kinda okay. Kinda. That's actually very good. That's actually... I think it's a full clear. Yeah. Ton of damage. See, when Yuki is happy, she's really happy. What am I expecting for Chizuru is... My dream is that she's a sub DPS who works in this slot for Yuki, and she applies debuffs and draws cards and draws other combatant cards and, you know, that kind of character. Because I know that there will be... I'm not sure if it's the same patch or the following one. There is going to be a support that is going to be very good for Yuki as an alternative to Nia. Okay, here we want to do this, unfortunately. Then we can do this and this. Okay, and then... that annoys me a lot. It really annoys me a lot. It really bothers me, but there is no way for me to kill that thing outside of using Yuki's ego skill, and I'm not going to. I'll just throw the heal and GG. Extremely annoying. Yes. That's nice, you see? Cost a bit less. GG. Now, do I want to get a neutral card first or activate the Epiphany first? It's something to always think about, because if, for example, right now I have a bunch of cards that do not have Epiphany, really a lot, some of which I would really like the aggressive mutants for her, and Snack Time for Ray, you know, all cards that have some really solid Epiphanies. And if you trigger the Epiphany before getting the neutral card, you are going to target something that you have right now. On the other hand, if you get the neutral card first, you could trigger the Epiphany for that neutral card, which is potentially good or bad, or irrelevant. So it really depends. Let's go with this first. Mutant? Let's go! Action point! Let's go! Oh, apply vulnerable and action point! The best Epiphany possible! Let's go, Yuki. Then we get a neutral that is going to be S. For sure. Do we get another gear bag? Fine, let's get another gear bag. Just because I'm not going to save either of their files. Yuki's, maybe. Maybe it's looking fun. It will depend on whatever epiphanies we get. What did I remove from Yuki? I removed one card. Actually, I replaced one card. Did not even remove it. Then few epiphanies, 2 neutral cards, 1 divine epiphany on a neutral card. Let's see what we get done for Yuki. Maybe it's I wanted her to have it. Fine, let's throw it here. Sharing is caring. Sharing do be caring. We're getting scammed again. We're getting scammed again. So let's go this way. Logic error. Okay. I'm definitely going to a shop, so I wouldn't mind some cash here. Source of Forbidden, I do not have. Oh wait, this one. This one is actually not terrible. With 160, I guarantee that I can remove 2 cards. One in the first shop and one in the shop at the end. So let's go with that. Because I'm sure there is some garbo that I can remove at the first shop. Then probably one at the end. Oh, we didn't get scammed. So let's go straight here. This is usually a fine fight. We can get a morale. Can we draw anything useful? A mutant I approve. It's the wrong one. I would have preferred the other one with morale, but still pretty solid. This is going to hit like a truck. Pretty good. Oh no! No crit! Really? Please draw Flash Slash. Flash Slash. That's not a Flash Slash. What the hell? Taking a bunch of damage for no reason. Feels bad, man. No crit for yours truly. Okay, that one got lead. We need to use it first. Let's throw it here. Okay, we have a Flash Slash, which is always nice. Nice chunk of damage, huh? That's for a nice chunk of damage. That one is dead. That one is almost dead. That one being almost dead, you know what? We're going to do this and this. Who recovers Yuki? Okay. She goes Gunner mode. Now, there is a universe where you're... No, well, 3 is not bad. Like, even if we didn't got her out, didn't get her out of Gunner mode right away, the good thing is that we are much closer to it. So there's a very good chance the next turn is going to happen. Not yet. It's okay because it's going to happen instantly at the next fight, which is good. Means recovering hit points. She will be at 0 trauma. Give me the one with action point. That's pretty sweet. We go this way, we go to a shop, and then we will see what death is going to await us ahead. Oh, I will do this one and I will not take a card. Reason is that the fight can be pretty toxic. My builds are not particularly good. Yuki's is decent, but doesn't seem like a particularly solid build. And I don't need the weapon. It will be a very minor upgrade for Yuki, so not really worth it. Okay, I want to keep everything for Yuki. I want to remove everything for Rei. Not doable, unfortunately. Nia's Curiosity is not a great card, but it's not even terrible. What do we remove from her? Probably one of the basic attacks. We are the 2 most cope cards. Let's go with one of the basic attacks for Rei. Don't need anything else. Let's move on with our life. Please don't scam me. Please, not the vagina-looking dude. Okay. This dude can hit pretty hard. To be honest, he can hit pretty hard. But at least it takes damage properly. The fight is reasonable and everything is okay. So, not worried. Not too concerned about this guy. Maybe going to wipe. He's going to deal 5k damage to me the following turn, but this is a fight that usually doesn't have... that doesn't bring particular issues with it. Unlike the... Well, the Doggy Master, if you have a character like Yuki, is no problem at all. I really like Yuki's card, by the way. We're not going to play this one. If you have a mostly single target damage dealer, then things may be a bit trickier against the doggy dude if you cannot clear it quick enough. I think it's Omega over. Oh. Is it though? I think it should be. I want to hope it is. Give me a crit. Okay. Oh no. No. I went to OBS. The last time that I made a recording like this, by the way, I click outside of the window of the game and I clicked exactly on stop recording, and I only noticed that at the end of a run. Saying that I was triggered by that would be an understatement. Like, the rage that I felt during the weekend was quite noticeable. I don't want that. All of them are bad. All of them are pretty bad. This one at least does something. If you told me earlier, Sir Rindelot, you're going to get that epiphany, I would have removed it from the deck. Fuck that. But it's too late now. It's absolutely too late. Let's remove a card. I'm going to remove... no? I mean, that one is trash, but it's not as trash as this. So I'm going to remove that. And... We will see how we go. I'm fairly optimistic about this run to be a success. Then I need to go to check the fragments, and then I can call it a day. I enjoy having these daily runs. No! How could you do that to me? Which one was it? Oh, it was the one with an extraction point. Okay. Extraction point, but I may not really need this turn. Let's see if we can get something that we can play. We did! Pretty good. So, we can go with Predatory Strike to get a bunch of stacks of morale. And then we do this, and then we do this, and then we do this. And let's see how many hit points it has. It's still a bunch, still a lot, especially if she doesn't consistently crit. One of the runs that I had in the morning was really good, and at the end of the first turn his hit points were here, and that felt much better. It was like, yeah, the game is respecting my time. Is this guy a mutant? No. So, you know what? A rip mutant sample. You will be remembered. That didn't help very much, but it's better than getting an STD, to be honest. Yeah, fear and tremble. You doggy, you have awakened the Yuki, dealing 600 damage to a single boss. Checkmate, boss. She's so bad against a single enemy. Let's do this. Another mutant. We trigger the other bag. See what we get. Let's resonate some darkness. Do we have any way to generate action points? Not really. So if I want to use all this stuff, I only have 2 action points available. Huh. No way to use action points, huh? It's a bit of a bummer, because if I had more action points, I could have used Prepare to Subdue into something, but I'm pretty limited in what I can do this turn. And that one is pretty important. 4 stacks of morale is a huge damage increase, so we're going to do these 2 things. I'm considering to use her ego skill to put her 2 cards back in the deck, so that I'm drawing them the next turn, if there is a next turn, to be honest. I don't think this is going to be a crit that deals enough damage to kill the dude, but let's see. It's a crit, 161 damage. And yeah, it's going to either draw this one or that one or that one, none of which I can use this turn, so let's pass and save the doggy. Good on you. You survive 1 more turn. And then it will be time to take a dump on its soul in an embarrassing way, which is a flash slash without inspiration. What more embarrassing way to clear a boss than to deal 380 damage to it? We copy the wrong mutant, of course. Wrong mutant copied all the time. We get a piece of equipment that I wouldn't be very happy to get in another save file. And we get my last 3 rewards of the week. Yeah, we did it. My save files are going to get Bircher Bar. The only one that had a little bit of potential of being interesting was Yuki's, and the moment it shows up on screen, I'm going to delete it. This one is probably going to be my last Chaos run before the new patch cycle, by the way, because since I do not know anything about Chizuru, I'm not building any characters. Because I'm really curious to see... oh my god. I'm really curious to see what Chizuru's deck will be like, and then I will decide which other characters are worthy of being built, or wait for new ones, because, you know, it requires a little bit of planning. Give me that. And of course, we go to check our fragments. Let's see what we got. Trash. This needs to change, game developers, okay? Like, I scroll down, I click on this one. Oh, it's Garbo. Let's go back. Why does it go back to the top? Why does it have to be like this? Like, there is no reason why it should be like that. Like, sure, there are ways to arrange it in a different way, but why does it even have to be like that? That you scroll down and it automatically goes up. Absolutely no reason. It's just annoying. We can lock that one. No. Nope. No. Oh, that's from today. Attack percentage, damage over time. Nah. We want better than that, game. We're not settling for trash. You don't live in the gutter, you don't ride in the gutter. Or something along those lines. It's something that a guy told me one day, and I still don't know what it means, but it sounded cool. The way he said it was like, oh wow, he said something meaningful. And then thinking about it, years after the fact, I'm thinking, was he a moron? Was he making fun of me? Like I don't speak English very well, and he said something that I would not understand. Look, I have to scroll down after every single fragment. It has to be a bug. I refuse to believe that this is a feature. There has to be some spaghetti code that is forcing this to happen. I already mentioned it on the content creator Discord. I'm going to make a report about it. I'm going to sue the developers. I'm going to report the game for hate speech and anything else, but they have to fix it. Anyway, this was just a bunch of nonsense, because yours truly is very good at nonsense. I hope you have enjoyed some Sir Grandelot ASMR in the background while you are going through your daily quests. And new content will be available as soon as Chizuru drops, and we will see what she's like, how good she is, and what she actually does. Bye guys, and take care.